Okay, so this is the end of turn 3. Major shit hit the fan. We had the battle wagon that's still awesomely there. It decided to tank shock some Space Marines. It did like 1 or 2 wounds. They lived. They went over here to claim the objective. They got pinned by some fire from the Rangers over here, which is why I use Rangers, because they pin. And as you can see, they're just going to sit on the objective.
Well, this is also where your truck was and your knobs.
Yeah,
and everything.
my truck and knobs were over here. I had 7 knobs. And they had a Pain Boy and a Wall Banner, so they had Weapon Skill 5. Anyway, they got raped by 15 Blood Claws that beat them in melee. They just went first and put it in their ass. So then we have, over here I had 20 Orks. They got destroyed by what was left of, a Dreadnought drop potted right next to them, burnt the shit out of them. And we had a Wraith Lord that killed quite a few. We have some Eldar. What are these?
Dire
Avengers. They shot at them and killed them. So I had 2 more left. They took some saves. I have a Mecha Boy there with a force field. He didn't end up saving him, so he's retreating. He's sitting in front of Fire Dragons, and the Fire Dragons kind of messed up the Dreadnought here. So I have 4 Ludas. I have no tank. It's just wrecked there, and I have 1 squad over here of 8 guys and a truck that still happens to work, and of course I have my battle wagon. So, Jeremy, what else happened? Did I miss anything? What happened? What did you guys do?
I had Nigel and the Rhino, who ended up using Living Lightning, which took out the truck. And once the truck was done, that's when the Blood Claws came out and assaulted through cover.
That's weird.
Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. So, your Long Fangs, again, shooting Chinese fire rockets. They rolled 1s and 2s and 2s and 1s. Did not hit anything, unfortunately. Eldar player's doing pretty good. It looked pretty bad from early game, but he's got, it looks like he has a Falcon. There's a Falcon with Fire Dragons. He's got another Wave Serpent over here.
Good at contesting.
Yeah, so looks like this objective's contested. I'm contesting this with a vehicle, and it looks like this one is the only one being held. I'm actually holding this one with 2 Orks, but that's not going to last very long. So this is the last turn of the game. We'll see who's going to pull out with the victory. Looks like this one's going to be pretty dirty to be held over here, and it's getting pretty entertaining. A lot of dead on the field, so we'll see what the rest of the game entails, and we'll be back on the end of turn 4. All right, now for the post-game wrap-up, we have the Space Marine player, and he's on the Space Wolves player. He's on 1 objective. And as you can see, there's some Harlequin, or not Harlequins, we got Banshees there. The other Bastion objective was right here. We pulled it off to make it easy for movement, so we move models around. Anyway, we have a Dreadnought and Banshees there contesting. And then we have another Dreadnought contesting with some more troops. So everything's contested. The Space Wolf and the Eldar player contesting 3 objectives. And so that ends the game. The Orc player had a truck here. It got demolished. The Orcs ran off the table. There was Ludas here. I pulled them off. They really didn't need to be there because they weren't doing anything. The Rangers are still alive, and he's got the Eldar player has some troops left, and the Space Marine player has 3 troops left. It looks pretty bad at the end of the game, but you know, that's how Warhammer is. So, Mr. Space Wolf player, what would you do differently if you were going to play again? And did your strategy work?
The strategy worked pretty well. I might use an additional Rune Priest to maybe cut down on costs. Maybe just use Rune Priest instead of Nigel and filled another set of troops and a Rhino.
Mm-hmm. How did you feel about your Long Fangs blowing like nothing up until the very end of the game? They got the battle wagon.
They also took out the Wraith Lord at the end of the game too.
Okay.
So at the end they got their points worth, so that was fine. Other than that, at the beginning of the game, Ballistic Skill 4 was worth crap for whatever reason.
So for an objective game, how many troops did you actually end up bringing? You brought what? How many squads of troops?
I only brought 2 squads of troops.
2 squads of troops? Okay. How many squads of troops did you bring?
I brought 3.
Okay, so the Eldar player brought 3 troops, but he brought a lot of elites. Well, he brought elites, 3 elites and 3 troops. So he was troop heavy, and he brought some what are these, Warwalkers?
Yeah.
Warwalkers, yeah, came in at the end of the game. They lit up these Space Marines here. There was 15 there. Now you can see there's 2. There's 3. I missed one. There's one around there. But it was really up to the Banshees that won the game. They got a really awesome consolidate and came within 3 inches. That was really the winning role of the game. So Other than that, everything was pretty awesome. We still have drop pods. Drop pods are pretty awesome. They tend to sit there and not get touched and shoot cyclone missiles. So if there was a Space Marine player out there, I would highly suggest doing that in the future if you run Space Marines. So anything you do differently with strategy?
Yes, I would deploy different. Half of the reason why I did so badly in the beginning was I deployed wrong. Everything was happening over here with the objectives. I deployed too defensively. My Banshees, which are Marine killers, were way too far from the Marines. They didn't get into contact till the very end, which I'm glad they did. My number one strategy I was trying to use, but didn't get to use was the Farseer with the Rangers. How I play it in the future is when we roll for objectives, we get to place everyone places an objective where they would like to, and if we did it that way, I would put the objective near my Rangers, where the Farseer could do a fortune and give them a reroll and a 3+ cover save, which makes them really hard to kill. But I could have moved them, but with how badly things went in the beginning, I'd rather just guide and try to snipe and pin things, try to stop them from reaching the objective.
Okay. And then as for myself as the Orc player, I had the last objective here contested. I had a truck there with 8 Orcs. I really thought that was going to do it, but all the Eldar firepower busted up the truck. It happened to explode. The Orcs got out. They got killed, utterly maimed. And I also had a bunch of Orcs here at about 20. So the problem is, I think early game I spent too much time killing the Eldar player, and I didn't bring as many troops as I should have. I ran roughly 60 Orcs, and 60, 70, and I probably should have brought around 90. If I would have had 20 more, I think the game would have been different. I spent too many points bringing a Knob Squad, and I didn't bring a War Boss, so they were not troops. And I kind of set them on the objective a little too early in the game, and they got assaulted and lit up by Blood Claws. And so Blood Claws doing what they do best, they got into melee, and I really didn't expect them to beat Knobs in melee. I thought I was safe with a 4+ armor, and a 4+ feel no pain, but it was just overwhelming. He got 60 attacks and killed them. So no longer will I think that I'm okay with him. The Battle Wagon actually did me really proud. I got to blow up quite a few things, caused a lot of havoc with that, the Death Roll always being very effective. So at the end of the game, it looks like everyone's strategy came out to be fairly solid. Only a few things would have went differently. Like I said, I probably would have spread myself a little more thin early game, and I would have probably progressed better in late game. Alright, that's it. We'll be posted on the internet shortly.